Well, hello everybody and happy New Year. It's 2024
Oh my,
and we are starting off right away with a show. We're doing day one. We're
day
doing
one.
day one. Happy New Year, Louise. How was your New Year's?
It was good. It was fun. It was healthy.
You're
I had a
not
lot
too
of
over today or anything like that.
not too terrible. I didn't
Okay.
get home like 6, 7 a.m. But I'm young, so I'll
You
get
are
over it.
young. I literally fell asleep. I am a complete bore. I used to be like you, like I would go out,
Yeah.
stay out till 6, 7 in the morning.
Wake up two
Now,
hours
now
later.
I'm like, wait, is it morning already? Like I pass out.
Yeah. I'm glad it wasn't the summertime, because if it was the summertime, by the time I left the club, it would have been daylight and I probably would have been all messed up. But it was still dark out, which
Okay,
was
so you
good.
got home when it was still
It was
dark.
still dark. That was the main goal of yesterday, was to get
I
home
think
before.
that's always, I think you always
Yeah.
feel better. I always felt better when I would go out and get home before the light came up.
Yeah, you have to.
'Cause
Or
otherwise, I'd feel
you're gonna be
like
all messed up.
I'd be all messed up. All right, so unbelievable. We have so much to talk about. Like there is such a huge show here
Very
every
big 2 weeks of wrestling,
2 weeks of wrestling. This thing is exploding and it's getting out of control, and we're trying to
and
catch
it's not
up.
gonna stop. Yeah,
It's not going to stop. But before we move on, don't tell me what it is, but did you make any New Year's resolutions? I have not.
I did, but I'm probably not gonna be able
Hey,
to do it.
don't tell us.
But I did. I try every year.
Do you hold to them?
Last year I did for like 3 months, and then I just stopped. But I'm trying to last a little bit longer this time.
Um, oh, Colleen is with us. Hello, Happy New Year, Colleen. Kalina, sorry. All right, so we're gonna start with what we just saw and work our way back. We decided we had so much to get through, but tonight was day one, Monday Night Raw.
Just jump on here.
Yeah, so we thought we'd just jump on here to get our immediate reactions to it. I guess we need to really start with The Rock because that is the thing. So kudos to you for being a good spy. But what I want to say before we get to your thing is, so obviously when Jinder Mahal came out, my thought was that I still thought because he was talking about America and was trashing America, it would still be Stone Cold. That was in my head.
Once he started doing that, I was like, I still thought it was The Rock, but I was like, oh, like this might. That's like the hint they're dropping right there.
I thought that was the hint.
And it's like, I just thought it was pretty funny because everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Jinder Mahal," and they actually did it. Like it was pretty. I
Oh
thought that was
yeah.
hilarious. Like everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh, it's gonna be Jinder," and I was like, "Oh, like that's
Well,
that's
it is
funny."
funny. They really pulled a former champ that nobody cares.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he wasn't even with the WWE anymore.
I guess I thought he wasn't on contract. I really thought he wasn't.
So they probably got him in there to do this little thing because
Yeah,
they had to
that's the
find.
highlight. That was the highlight of his career.
Right. It's the biggest thing he's ever done. They had to find the foil for The Rock.
They could have just have him go out there and
No,
talk. 'Cause,
they had to
yeah,
have what he did.
yeah, what he does all the time.
But I really thought it was Stone Colder for a minute when he started trashing the US. So let's discuss how you figured out it was The Rock.
Yeah.
Got
So, and
I
I
was
would like to say, I know people were posting this on Twitter, but I did notice it myself when I was watching College Game Day, because I'm a huge college football fan. I
right.
was up
And
this
today was the
morning.
two bowl games.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was watching, and
Lost.
I'm on Instagram, and they're showing him meeting I forgot who he was talking to, Corso. And in the background I paused it. I was like, who? I was like, that looks he looks so familiar. And then I couldn't put like a name to the face. And I was like, that's Nick Khan. It was like something in his hand. I was like, how obvious? I was like, I can't even believe they
Drinking?
caught that.
Was Nick drinking?
I don't I don't know. I was like, wow. And then I was like, all right, so that must mean, but I still thought, because I had seen the rumor that they wanted to do Rock against Roman at Australia. So I just thought that meant maybe since they were in town, they were gonna have the meeting there. But that didn't mean he had to show up tonight. I just thought maybe that doesn't mean he's gonna show up, and then he did. So I was like, that's kind of where I got my hint from, the fact that they caught that.
Once you sent me the photo of Nick Khan, I'm like, he's coming.
Yeah.
He's coming. And then let's talk about so really, I mean, that I don't think anybody has the timing that The Rock does. They just do not have that comedic timing.
It's him and Cena. That's it. It's
Him
those
and
two.
Cena.
Yeah.
But when The Rock did, when he's looking up to Iron Sheik and goes, "What did you say?
Yeah. No, it's great.
You're an asshole," or whatever it was. It was so funny, and they needed a foil for that. So the whole thing was funny and great. And then he says, "Should I get a seat at the head of the table?"
I really didn't. I wasn't prepared for what he was gonna say. I didn't know where he was leading towards.
And then all of a
And
sudden, you say that, my other like everyone's buzzing my phone, like, "Oh my God,
and to think that like the first of all, the crowd went absolutely ballistic.
ballistic."
The rumor, I guess the rumor and the report, because like we said, Cody has to finish the story. So
I feel like Cody's going to be finishing his stories.
Cody is. We were all making jokes.
Wait, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, yeah, we are all making jokes because they were like, he has to be so mad. He has to be so mad.
I think so. I wanted to tell you this. I wrote an article about this on my website, which we'll get into because I went to the WWE Holiday Tour and it closed with Cody addressing the LA crowd. And he
Mhm.
said, "The last time I was here, I know what you guys think. Last time I was here, like it didn't go so well at WrestleMania. It didn't go the way I thought, blah, blah, blah." He goes, "But I will guarantee you this." He said, "The next time I'm back here, and I don't have the calendar in front of me," he says, "I'm going to have gold around my waist." Now,
Mhm.
we can take that any which way to Sunday, but he did make that statement. And then he did come out and thank everybody because, Cody's the spokesperson now, apparently, for
Yeah.
WWE. So I don't know. Is it Rock, Roman in Australia and not WrestleMania?
Um. So I mean, the only reason I just think they have to go. I don't think it's right to do. They've already done this before. Um. They're starting to not do it as much. Like, when was the last time they had a part timer come in and main event WrestleMania? It's been a while. Like, it really has been a while. They
We
like to.
used to do that.
And what we were saying, and what I saw someone say on Twitter, which I thought was pretty smart and true, was that the fact that, like we said before, this roster is absolutely stacked. It's the most stacked it's ever been ever, and it probably will never be this stacked ever again.
And I would just to that point, I was literally thinking that tonight because when they went, and Monday night, CM Punk's back, and then there's a special announcement on
Yeah,
Thursday, and then we're doing this. And I'm
yeah.
like, I don't even remember before you were
No,
born it being
no.
like this,
And I like I said, so the main event, the WrestleMania that The Rock had with Cena when I was there in Jersey, that card was awful. Like, it was terrible. The card was weak, the roster was short, whatever. And that made sense on why they brought The Rock back, and they needed The Rock to come back and wrestle the main event because they didn't have any big guys at that point besides Punk, which obviously was the reason he left. And someone tweeted the fact that you have The Rock coming back to fight Roman Reigns, which is probably one of the biggest matches ever, and it's on a mid-card pay-per-view.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just realized I have the wrong background.
I thought you just did it on. I thought you were doing New Year, a new background.
I no, I was not in my lounge chair. I meant to be in the ring. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, what we were saying, like the fact that they have The Rock and Roman possibly going to fight each other, and it's most likely not going to be in WrestleMania, just shows you how stacked the roster is because they're not going to jump these full timers anymore. They're not. I don't think Cody's going to get jumped at Mania. I think it is smart to be at Elimination Chamber because I don't know if you know this, the stadium in Australia holds more than the one at
More
WrestleMania.
than in Pennsylvania.
So
They've
they need to sell that. They need to sell seats there, and that's what's going to sell. It's smart. It really is smart. And I don't think the Rock or Roman is going to care that they're fighting at Elimination Chamber. It's in Australia. It might as well be a WrestleMania anyway.
right. Right. So, but if it ends up being a two-night, which is going to be a two-night WrestleMania, you don't think there'd be some kind of Rock versus Roman night one, winner goes to.
I don't think they can because I think it's Seth and Punk has to be the main event night one. And I personally, what I said, I think the best way to do this because it's going to be awesome whether it's Elimination Chamber or not. It has to be finally the storyline with all of the Samoans coming back and doing this whole thing with Rikishi and the Wild Samoans and all of them. And I think I even think that.
But that to me would be a WrestleMania thing with Rock and Roman and all the Samoan families
So
back.
what my uncle said, I actually watched Raw with my uncle today because it was a good Raw. So we watched it like a pay-per-view. And what he said something I thought was pretty good was that if Rock does fight Roman at WrestleMania at Elimination Chamber, I think Rock should still be involved at some point in WrestleMania. And it probably is smart. Let's say they go to cost Cody again.
Maybe
Roman comes out, Rock
comes
comes
in,
out, helps Cody,
Cody.
takes out the whoever's left. You know what I mean? I think he's still gonna be involved, whether it's at Elimination Chamber or WrestleMania. But I personally think it's gonna be at Chamber because of the fact that I think they're paying a lot of money for him to be there. So um I'm excited and that's gonna be
It'd
awesome.
be amazing. I mean,
And
we're really
yeah,
going to see Roman and The Rock
it's
finally.
been 11 years since I think since he
11 years.
helped him at Royal Rumble not get booed and it didn't matter.
I, but the other thing that was interesting when, and we're jumping, but we'll go back. CM Punk alluded to in LA also that he wanted Roman.
Yeah.
So it's getting very like congested and they have to like figure this out.
I'm starting to like not rule. I don't think there's any way Cody wins at the Rumble. I think they're gonna do the whole Shawn Michaels storyline when he tried to win the Rumble to fight the Undertaker again. Um, I think Cody's gonna win something at the Elimination Chamber to go against the winner of Roman versus Rock at Mania.
So Candace is saying she put two and two together after the tweet from Triple H and know they wanted a big match at Mania. So she's thinking it's Rock and
Mhm.
Roman. And then Kalina is saying, my prediction is Cody and CM Punk will both win the Royal Rumble, and then you have Chamber. So what do you so then what?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
I don't know.
I if Rock is fighting Roman at Chamber, then they're gonna have some type of number one contenders match, probably like Elimination Chamber wise, or they're gonna have just Seth defended in Elimination Chamber, and maybe he loses, maybe he wins. I don't know,
I mean, the
but
fact that The Rock drops this thing and the way they did this, you do understand that
yeah,
it's going to be by tomorrow this huge viral moment again.
uh-huh.
WD statistics are through the roof. You
We
know,
just got we just got Rock and Punk coming back in less than a month, two
less than a
months, and it seems like Rock's gonna be involved in the
month.
storyline,
So there's a special announcement on Thursday,
which I think is gonna be some type of
a special
Rock,
match, like a match.
or I was saying maybe Rock will be at SmackDown at some day that he'll announce to talk about it. Maybe he's gonna announce when he's coming back because they're definitely and Punk's gonna be on that show. So whatever they're doing, that weird
On Thursday, the weird
peacock thing, I don't even know what it is. Like a press conference. I don't know.
think it's a preview show or
Yeah,
something. Um, okay.
and then yeah.
What did
So
you think about? Explain to me what happened during the match with Kaiser. Did Giovanni get hurt?
yeah, I think based
Because
off
they obviously stopped the match
the
and
video that I watched in the replay, it seems like he hit his head really hard, and I think he got a concussion and he couldn't move. So they had to
cussed
end the
out and
match.
they cut
Yeah,
it.
which is kind of crazy.
Because when I looked back at it, I wasn't sure when they did the replay what had happened.
Yeah, like he hit him in the face, but I don't think that's what it was. He snapped his neck like on the ring, and then they. I thought they would just have the other guy fight like alone, but I guess they just wanted to end it.
It was
Yeah,
um,
I didn't even see it live because I was after the first match, which we'll talk about. I watched the Uso come out, and then I cut to watching the overtime of the Alabama Michigan game,
right
and
because it was overtime.
I
I
literally turned it on for like literally a minute, and then I went back, and the match was over. So I was like, oh, I guess it was a squash match, and then I saw on Twitter what happened. No, I wanted Bama to win. I don't.
I'm a Bama fan, and so I
'Cause
wanted Bama.
I'm an Ohio State fan, so I want Michigan
I
to
hate
lose.
yeah, I hate Ohio State, but I wanted Bama. Now I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Okay. So then what did you think about the Seth Drew match? And obviously, Mr. Money in the Bank, Senior Money in the Bank comes out, and I'm like, okay, for 1 second, I was like, okay, this is it. Top of the year, you're gonna switch the title, give it to him.
Yeah. I don't get why if you're not gonna have him cash in yet, just have him lose it already. 'Cause I don't know when are they gonna do this. With now we have this whole other storyline going on with McIntyre and Rollins is still going on. Who does Rollins fight at Royal Rumble? They don't even have that like set up yet. There's only a few weeks left.
We have 3 weeks.
Drew's gonna fight Drew again. Like I don't
Uh,
know. Maybe Damian says I want to cash in and we'll have a regular match at Rumble like Cena did. I don't know, but I don't.
Or is it Punk?
They could no, it was Punk's in the Rumble, so they
Rumble, that's right.
yeah.
That
So
could be.
unless Seth says he wants to go in the Rumble because he wants to fight Roman too as the other champion.
What'd you say?
Unless Rollins says he wants to be in the Rumble too because he wants to fight Roman.
Roman.
Yeah, as the
That'd be
other champion.
amazing. I would love to
Yeah.
see Seth and Roman. Candace said his head bounced hard, and already someone posted it on TikTok, them throwing the X up.
Yeah. His partner did. He threw the X up himself.
And Colina says we need a new head of the table.
I agree. I would love if The Rock won, but he's not going. I don't think he's going to.
I mean,
But
he can't win.
I mean, that match isn't ending clean. There's no way that match ends clean.
It'll end clean.
Yeah.
Uh, what's your other takeaway from tonight's matches? What did you think?
I thought the Nia Jax Becky Lynch match was great. I really did. I thought it was great. As
I
much as
can't believe they went back to that because they
and
hadn't touched that in years.
they hadn't touched it, and so the whole thing was that she broke her nose, Becky Lynch got pregnant, and then Nia Jax got fired. So they never were able to finish that storyline. And they brought it all the way back, and I can't believe she won clean. I was
She
shocked.
went clean, so they obviously are going to continue this feud.
But it was good though. I thought the match was great. And as much as I don't like Nia Jax, it's hard to admit that she was great.
What did you think of the man?
I think she's okay. I still think she's like one of the most safe wrestlers, but she's still like I think one of the best on the roster. And I think she's the one that's gonna fight Rhea at Mania.
And then what did you think of Seth tonight?
That match was great, but
It was a great match. I just was like, didn't like.
I just thought they were gonna do something different. I thought Drew might have won, maybe Drew wins finally, or and then have Rollins win it back. I don't know. I just
That's the only thing I would have done.
it's just his storylines just get really repetitive. I feel like with this, it's just Drew in the Judgment Day for the past year. So I don't know.
I think Rollins is getting redundant too. He's getting the same
And
over and over again. And the other thing I hate, which I hate,
the
is Shinsuke
pedigree.
Nakamura, and
Oh,
I hate Cody and Shinsuke. I first of
I'm
all,
hoping next week is the end of it.
please end it. I just when I watched Shinsuke, well,
Because did
at
they
that,
fight at the holiday tour?
yes,
Because they fought at mine too. Yeah.
yes, they did. And when he came down the ramp, it was like 80 minutes of listening to the violin music, and I'm like, and him spazzing out while he walks. I'm like, why is this guy great? But then the people in the stands were like, he's really good.
Yeah. No, people love him.
They love him. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
I guess I'm seeing. I'm
I
not
guess
seeing.
I'm not into this.
Yeah.
Uh,
I've never been too big on him either.
I haven't
I
been
don't
into
think he's that great in the ring. I
it.
mean,
So my takeaway tonight was it was a better Monday Night Raw than I'm used to. It wasn't,
it was great. Yeah, it went fast. It went pretty
it
fast.
went by fast. I held
Yeah.
my attention. There was no gunk in the middle. I thought
No.
they did a great job. At
That's
least had
pacing
a
it.
lot of
Yeah.
energy pacing. So I was all for that. The Rock is amazing. Seth's amazing. I really love Damian Priest, and I hope they don't just, what are they going to do with him?
And we get Punk next week.
We get Punk next week. Now, moving on. You went to the WWE Holiday Tour in New York
Hmm.
on the 26th, 7th.
Yeah. 26th.
And I went on Saturday in LA at the Kia Forum. So one of the questions you asked me, and then because I actually watched clips of the New York
Yeah.
audience, it was night and day. Your audience in New York was so in it.
Yeah. Very. Like more than I think
Like
I'm telling you
more
right
than
now,
I've like,
I
yeah.
think more than half the pay-per-views I've been to, this was the best crowd I've ever been at.
And I
Besides
think,
Backlash.
and my feeling was the LA crowd was nowhere near as hot as that crowd.
I think it just comes down to like where they're hot, like the hot spots, and New York, they have I think New York is like one of the best wrestling crowds like ever. So I think that's kind of where you get your diehard fans that will go the day after Christmas and go watch CM Punk fight for the first time.
Right. I mean,
So
we had LA Knight. Our opening match was LA Knight and Jimmy Uso in a cage match.
mhm.
And then LA Knight addressed the crowd. And he was like, hey, I'm home. And everybody's going, yeah, 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 yeah. And you
Yeah.
did not have LA Knight in New York.
No, we had another match that you guys didn't have, but it wasn't LA Knight, which I would have loved to be there, but um
Here's the thing. The funniest thing was Kevin Owens throwing the stuffed plastic,
Oh,
the snowman.
hmm.
Uh, wait, who is he wrestling again? Who is he wrestling? Blur.
I can't remember.
Solo. I had him with Solo
Oh,
Sokoa.
yeah.
So he throws the ice, like that was funny because it was like a street match. My takeaway was obviously every single baby face won. And
Besides, well, did the Judgment Day fight at yours? Like the
yeah,
tag team championships?
no.
Yeah, so we had
I
all
had
the ba-
Finn, I had Finn against Jay Uso by himself.
we had all the faces won, but then they had Sammy and Jay against the Judgment Day for the tag team championship, and the Judgment Day won.
I didn't have Sammy.
Yeah, and Sammy was great too.
I had no Sammy. I had just Jay against Finn
Yeah,
with Damian Priest at ringside. And then I
yeah.
had Dominic against Punk.
Hmm.
And Punk people went nuts for. That was amazing. I will just say this. So when he got on the rope to jump off the rope, I'm like, because last time I saw him do that, he broke his ankle or whatever he did. So he does look better. Like he's
Yeah,
moving
I
much
think he
better.
does. Yeah, I do think he does.
Yeah. So what was your takeaway of this holiday thing? Like, I just thought it was for the kids.
Hmm.
It was like all our good guys won. Everybody was complaining in my row, like all the baby faces are winning. And I'm like, I think it's a holiday show.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for. And then they sign autographs on the way out and then they leave. Um, I loved it just because I just sometimes like watching wrestling and I get to watch these guys just wrestle and then there's no it's just like match after match after match. They literally just go like you don't have to a commercial break. It just keeps going. It's a different atmosphere. It's like super relaxed. It's cool. And being able to watch Punk's first match back in 10 years was awesome. And the crowd was absolutely ridiculous for his match. It was piercing how loud the crowd was.
Punk,
Yeah, it was
it was
insane.
insane. It was insane.
And I will say they had Punk and then they did the intermission right after at mine. And a lot of people didn't come back after Punk was done. A lot of people were there just to watch Punk.
So when we had intermission and we have some man fun doing the announcing. And
Dude, we had
I,
Byron. We had Byron Saxton.
yeah, I had Samantha.
Yeah.
And she what I what sounded really funny to me is when she went, now before you go out, here's some posters that are signed and you can get them at the it was like very like circusy, right?
Yeah.
And people were saying, there's an intermission. How much longer is this thing?
Yeah.
I felt too. There was a moment where I'm like, this feels like it's going on too long
Mhm.
or having a non-televised thing. And then I felt like it should have ended. I think we had Seth and Drew.
Yeah.
And then we went to break. And then we came back and had Becky and Zoe Stark, Ludwig Kaiser and Kofi Kingston. So
Yeah,
we were
they
already
both
up
fought too.
here. We were already up here, and then we went down here.
Who was the main event?
Cody and Nakamura.
Wow. I'm surprised.
What did you have?
We had Punk was like the third to last match, and then they had the intermittent. So mine was this is what they did, which I thought was great. They had
It sounds better. They didn't do it that like
they opened up with Becky and Zoe Stark, which got the crowd hot because Becky was like really popular. They had Kaiser and Kofi. Then they had the a match in between that no one really cared about, and then they had the tag team championship
I
match. They had the women's championship right after Rhea and
didn't have Reed wasn't here.
they had a women's tag. They had the triple threat women's championship match. It was Rhea, Ivy Nile, and then one more. Um, then they had right after was our Truth, which was awesome. It was our Truth and Omos had a little segment which was hilarious. And then they had Punk, and right after they didn't even say like, "Hey, our next match is for Windfall." Punk's music just hit, and then he came out. They had their match, then intermission, and then they had Cody and Shinsuke, and then Seth and Drew to end the night. That's all they had after the intermission.
Okay. I had LA Knight
Yeah,
and Uso first in a cage match.
which was crazy because that's like
That was
what.
the opening card because when we walked in, there was a steel cage.
Yeah.
It was the first match.
Hmm.
Then there was Kevin Owens and Solo, and then CM Punk and Dominic and oh, sorry, take that back. Forgetting. First was LA Knight. Then I had Bianca Belair. I had my girl, and she went against Bailey. Did you have that?
No, we didn't have any either of those people.
And Bianca was working the crowd, like trying to get people into the thing, because everybody was kind. I thought it was kind like they weren't.
I think everyone at mine was hot, but was waiting for Punk. That's kind of what it felt
Right.
like.
So that happened. I had Kevin Owens and Solo. I had CM Punk and Dominic. And then I had Seth and Drew.
Mhm.
Then we went to break. And then
The
I,
Seth and Drew match, did they have the spotlight in the ring and the whole thing was dark? Because that's what they did at ours. At ours, Seth and Drew ended the night, and the whole crowd was pitch black, like literally pitch black, and just the ring was spotlighted, which I thought was awesome.
we didn't get that. We're losers.
I know. I don't. It did seem like because what I've seen on Instagram and stuff, it did seem like they were advertising MSG like the more than all of them,
It was.
and they did stack that card because I we had everybody.
But I ended up, so like I said, I was with some friends and they were basically like, wait a minute, now we're going backwards and we have Kofi Kingston.
Yeah,
And
that doesn't make any sense to me.
so it was kind of like, and then we had Becky and Zoe Stark.
Yeah.
And then we had Cody. And everybody went nuts for Cody.
Mm.
And then Cody was the one that stood up. So only three people spoke: CM Punk, LA Knight, and Cody. Who spoke at yours?
The first person. Oh no, all we had was Punk grabbed the mic, and then
Seth?
Cody didn't speak, and then Seth ended it because Seth was the main event. Seth did a tribute for Brody Lee because that was the 5 year anniversary or four whatever he passed away. He did a tribute for Brody Lee and Bray Wyatt, and then that's what ended the show. So it was Seth.
So we had Cody, and Cody made sure we all knew and said, we want to thank you on behalf of the WWE for our biggest year in 2023. And 2024 is going to be great. This is our final show on the tour and the final show of 2023. And we love you guys. And because he was like our spokesperson, you
Yeah,
know, but he made sure we
yeah.
knew.
Ours was Seth.
Yeah, ours was Cody. And Cody,
Cody also signed autographs for like 20 minutes after the show ended. He came back out and signed autographs for everybody in the front row.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
The
Punk did it too.
yeah, I mean, people were there for Punk and Cody.
Yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. I felt at my show, all of the adults that were there were going nuts for Punk, and then all of the kids were just Cody, and then everyone else was just there. Like it was Cody and Punk were the hot. Cody is definitely more over than Seth when you think about it.
I know, which is kind of, and so the guy that my friend I goes, this when Cody comes on, he goes, Corny Rhodes is here. He calls him Corny Rhodes because because it's like that,
Yeah, it's like John Cena.
like John Cena, it's Corny
Yeah,
Rhodes.
yeah.
I love Cody Rhodes. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, but he said Corny Rhodes.
No, he's like the face of the company, so he like has to
Right? So
act
like
extra.
he acts extra professional and
Yeah,
extra,
he's
you
always
know,
in the suit. No one
well,
else wears a suit except for him.
but on this, he let us know that he's going to finish the story, that we lost the belt in LA, and the next time we come back, he'll be wearing gold. And I actually did a story on it on my website today,
So,
quoting it. And so I'm like, all right, that's
so the
interesting.
last two times that CM Punk has been in the Kia Forum, you were there for two different companies.
One, he fell off the rope, and one he didn't. It was like
Can you believe that the last time Punk was there, him breaking his foot literally led to him being in WWE right now? Like actually,
but here's the thing that's really interesting.
it's
When I'm
crazy when you think
watching
about it.
him, I'm like, he looks completely better,
Well, he's definitely in better shape.
better
And he looks
shape.
happier.
He looks happy. I don't
Yeah,
know if I'm correct. He does not do, he's always been anti-drug and booze,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I always thought, well, maybe this guy's been drinking, like, but he doesn't.
No, and I think part of that because like look at all these guys. Sadly, even though it's I don't think it's a. I mean, they can do whatever they want, but look at all these guys like Rock and Orton and Styles came back. I know you can get bigger, but I think Roman. I mean, I think Orton and Styles are on a little bit of the juice,
Oh, I don't know
and
about that.
And
I mean, Orton
part of
is
that,
like on, but like I said, like I said, having gone through back surgery, yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
Like,
no, exactly. And that's
I feel
why
like, go ahead.
then you have a guy like Punk who's in good shape, but he's not gonna be freaking ripped out of his mind because at this age you kind of have to do stuff like that to keep that physique. There's not many guys that can keep that physique without
If
it.
you are going to keep your physique at 40 something and wrestle this competitively, of
You have
course,
to. Yeah.
how else are you going to do it? Your
Yeah.
body
And
will fall
and
apart.
and Punk looks good, but I mean he has a little bit of a stomach, but who cares? Like it doesn't
Punk
really.
was very, Punk was flexing and everything in front of us all the time.
Yeah.
He obviously is really into himself with that right now. And he went over huge. It was just Cody was our end, was our finale.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
thought
I,
was,
I would rather you have either you have Punk or I mean you have Cody or Seth doing it. It's gonna be good.
I just think there is something to be desired when you don't have people calling the play by play.
It's so weird. Like I remember being my first time going to a live event, and it was like, where are the announcers? I literally still remember I was like 5, and I was like, why don't I hear anybody? It's awkward.
It is awkward. I mean, you get used to it. The one thing I liked about it was they kept it moving. I don't know about you, but it was like match after match.
Yeah, yeah.
There
There
was
was
no
no
like
break.
downtime. It was like
No.
next. Da,
Yeah.
da, da, da. I'm reading here. Okay. Colleen is asking the big question that we need to get into about MJF. Do we think he's leaving? But let's go back. So the same night as I'm at the match,
Hmm.
LA is World's End, which sucked because I was trying to pay attention to everything. But I did see the match. Let's discuss it. So the setup is, first of all, did you watch World's End?
Yeah, I watched all of it because I was home doing nothing.
How
So I
did
was
you
like,
feel about World's End, and how did you feel about the Christian Adam Copeland match?
like I thought the match was great. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was fun to watch. It was one of those hardcore matches. That's what they should be doing at this point. They're not gonna be having 5-star like wrestling move matches. They were never crazy wrestlers. They were just good characters. Um, I thought it was good, and then I thought the ending was dumb. I really thought it was. I thought it was stupid.
First of all, when did he become Switch Kill? I didn't
And when
just
did and
kills.
everyone was like, wait, when he can just cash in? They never even said that. They never said you could just
I
cash whenever
never
you
even knew
want.
there was a contract that you
No,
signed.
no one did. It
I
was
don't know where that came from. So it's
that's
kind
why I
of
think the booking is like that. It's like give such a good match, and then and now all everyone's gonna remember is that it's dumb. I thought it was stupid.
yeah, I hated that whole part of it. The other thing that was nice was they did give Sting his moment there,
Mhm. Yeah,
but
other
yeah.
things happened in that
Uh,
match too.
yeah. What did you think about that?
I mean, I thought Sting definitely deserved it. I liked it. You had the whole Chris Jericho stuff going on.
So,
You had the crowd chanting NDA, which I thought was hilarious.
so at the post media scrum, so what we're talking about is there's
No.
allegations that Chris Jericho had sexual misconduct or allegations,
Yeah, something along those lines.
something along those lines, by a woman who was a wrestler, correct?
Yeah, a former like that has now quit.
And in the press conference following World's End, Tony Khan was asked about this twice.
Yeah, while wearing a dumb hat and dumb
Wearing a
sunglasses.
dumb hat and sunglasses
Like
because
how like childish does that seem?
I thought that was so bad.
Like you can't talk about something that serious while you're wearing that. It's so like not cool.
He took it off later, but I was like, I've seen him do this another time. He's really into Timeless Tony Storm because I think they
No,
created that
yeah.
together. When I know it was ridiculous. I couldn't believe I was looking at the clips. I'm like, why is he wearing a babushka on his head? Like, what's going on? And completely out of context. Like, what's he doing? Is he lost his mind? Um,
You're just so tone deaf sometimes. It's really what it feels like. Like you can't. It's a serious thing people are talking about. Like and then
and
you
I really can't believe his answer was constantly, we have the safest policy here.
the safest policy in
Meanwhile,
safest policy.
meanwhile, the punk thing went to crap.
So you're the safest policy. You said you have the safest policies and workplace in all of the businesses. But 2 months ago, you said that you felt in quotes you thought you were gonna die at your job. That's what
Died
you
of
said.
job.
You thought you were gonna die. You feared for your life in your
for
job.
his
Like
life.
it's the safest policy.
Right. So they have the safest spots there. And he was saying that, of course, they're not going to talk about it and da 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 da. But I just don't know how AEW keeps imploding on itself.
I don't get it. I think it's stupid. I don't understand how you can talk about stuff like that serious and and that's what you're wearing.
Stupid. Um, all right. Let's talk about the
MJF.
base. Yes, because there's so much to discuss and unpack here. So the match, you have Samoa Joe, you have MJF, and you have Adam Cole coming to the ring. Immediately when you see Adam Cole, first of all, he's dyed his hair black. It's
Mhm.
black. So right now I'm looking like you're a villain. Now,
We all knew.
now you watch the match and you think it's a slow moving plotting thing because basically MJF can barely move anymore at this point.
Yeah, because he's a legit injury.
And Samoa Joe is just a tank. So I was like, it wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. You think
Yeah,
it
I
was
thought it was okay. I thought the match was okay. I mean, I didn't mind it. The pacing was a little slow, but that's how most of Joe's matches are. It's the same as like Punk's match against him that everyone really liked that I seem to not really care about.
I hated that match.
But I thought it was okay. And then I did feel like he was gonna lose. I thought he was gonna drop it, but I didn't expect him to not kick out or tap out. I thought that was crazy.
Why did you think he was going to drop it? Because of the letter he wrote to the players tribune? Because that was
That and I just knew that he was really injured and they just couldn't have him not on TV because he genuinely was injured and he wanted to get through the year. And it does play into the whole storyline that he's not re-signed, which I think he is. I think it's all a work. It's dumb. I don't understand why you're still even doing the whole take him off the roster page. Like it's we all know he resigned. Like he wouldn't. The Devil storyline just started. Like think about it. It just got revealed. Do you think he's gonna go to WWE now and that whole thing's cut?
it was
Like
really interesting because when I was there in at Kia Forum, the people that were kind of following what was going on World's End
mhm.
were like, "Oh my God, he's leaving. He's
Yeah,
leaving."
I didn't
Because
get that feeling.
he was right. Because you think about it, you're like, you dropped the title, and you didn't even. It was a clean win,
Yeah,
basically.
which it was. Yeah,
You just got knocked out. Is that what we're supposed to assume? We just passed out.
yeah. They just got tapped out.
Knocked out. Adam Cole is to blame, right? Because the diamond ring he putzed around, I can't find it. So that was intentional. So it would cost time
Yeah,
for him to lose the match. And then he loses. I was surprised. I did not think he would just lose clean.
yeah. I thought he was gonna lose, but I thought the Devil was gonna cost him, but it didn't really. It was clean.
So now he's demoralized and laying there, and now the match is over, and Joe just walks out. And then you have the devil reveal.
So what do you think? Like, I think he resigned already. I think he's resigned. I don't think they would do all this if he wasn't resigned. That's just how I feel. But like, what's the point of removing him from the roster page? Like, oh, like no one cares enough to like he
The only
resigned.
the only thing I could think of is I know they're saying it's a work, which we've seen has happened before.
Yeah, they with the same guy,
The same guy,
which is
which
why.
is stuck. I mean, like I hate the fact that if he's in on it, he wrote that great Players Tribune piece,
Awesome. Yeah.
which the
All
Players Tribune
those
piece
players Tribune pieces are awesome. Like from every sport that they have, I
they're
love.
great.
Yeah.
I thought his was so great, and that is what I thought made me feel like he's leaving. Whether he's leaving for that or leaving to go have surgery or taking a
Yeah.
break.
Well, he is taking a break anyway, which I heard, but I think he resigned. Which I mean, I guess we're never gonna get a like I because I thought we'd get some type of report from Fightful or something, but they haven't even reported anything. So
No, they're just saying
unless he just
he's been removed from the main roster
yeah,
page.
that's what they said.
Um,
It's just like you have to feel like you would think a guy like Tony Khan that I feel like he's kind of you know we saw look at WWE. Daniel Bryan's last match was WrestleMania, and then he showed up at he was the main event at WrestleMania, and then showed up at AEW. Like they must have knew, yeah, he probably wasn't gonna be signed, but we're not gonna change the storyline. Tony Khan gives me the vibes of some guy of a guy that if he had a feeling MJF was gonna leave or not resign, he wouldn't have had him like. involved in such a big storyline.
I also think though they got this all messed up. I think that the timing was so screwed up.
Cole
The
getting hurt.
Cole getting hurt, probably changing who's going to be the devil multiple
He's
times.
still hurt.
He's still not wrestling.
Yeah.
So you've got him hurt, him hurt. The only thing I could think of is Samoa Joe's going to get double crossed by the devil guys, and he was in cahoots with the
It's just
devil.
like,
So
I
it's
mean,
like,
you know more, you watch, like I'm saying, like you like it more than I do. Like, can Joe really carry the AEW? Like, I don't see it.
and I
MJF was barely selling.
couldn't believe that he was at that table in the media scrum saying, "It's my turn now, and I'm going to carry the company." I'm like, if you're having Samoa Joe carry the company against what WWE has going on, I
Like,
don't know what
look
how
what happened. I said, like, I know it's not like you, it's not supposed to be a competition, but like they just had Joe and MJF have this match, whatever, and now we're possibly in a 2 month span, we're gonna get Punk, Seth, Roman Rock, and then Roman Cody. Like that, like that's part of why I think he's gonna stay because I don't think they need MJF. There's nowhere for him to go right now.
I do think if MJF went there, there'd be nowhere for him to go.
He'd be a mid carder to start, which he's not gonna want to do. So
Right. So, but didn't the way the whole devil thing wasn't it anticlimactic to you?
I agree. I heard he was supposed to have the mask on. He couldn't get it on, so he didn't even wear it
Oh,
after the lights went out. Yeah, it was like he's not even wearing I don't know. And then it's Wardlow and Strong and
the only thing that was good was Wardlow because we knew he had nothing going on.
for a
So
while. Yeah.
now they made him bad. I don't know he doesn't even look like him anymore. He's
No.
like so big. I don't need like what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's troubling. And I don't know. I was really disappointed.
Like
I kind of was upset and disappointed in it.
I think we were just expecting something more than what we all thought it was, which was Adam Cole. Like we all knew that was what it was.
I was hoping Britt Baker would be the only
Something to
something.
swerve us.
I mean, I would have swerved you because it took so long.
Mm.
But I don't know. You think that MJF's going to go have surgery?
That's what I've heard. I genuinely think I really think he is injured, so I think he has to have surgery.
So he goes off for 9 months and has shoulder surgery.
And no one knows what company he's
I
on.
had shoulder surgery in both my shoulders, and it took me 9 months to 10 months to recover from it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to go lift weights
Yeah. I don't even know how he wrestled with that.
with a torn labrum.
Yeah, that's like
Did he
very
also have a bad hip?
yeah. So I mean he's gonna take time off and get and heal up, but I mean
The
I guess we
one
have to wait
thing
for
I really loved was that package of they loved their
yeah.
scumbag in Long Island. I thought that was really fun and clever
No, it was great.
and
I
I'm thinking,
liked
did
it.
MJF come up with that? Because it doesn't seem like something Tony.
No, I thought that was great. Yeah. I like that.
I thought that was great. But all in all, World's End, you're giving what? A C? D?
C plus.
It wasn't that bad. It
I thought it was okay.
was okay.
It's just like they constantly do these things where it's like they have a good match and then they have to ruin it with something right after. They do it a lot.
Oh, and the other thing that happened, I was like, where's Keith Lee? So it was Swerve Strickland against Dustin Rhodes, and that wasn't supposed to be either because he got sick.
And then they had Andrade who's supposedly leaving.
Isn't Andrade coming to WWE?
That's what I've heard. Like as of this
He's
week.
gone. Well, Tony Khan let us know he is gone.
Yeah. So he's gonna be back. He's Triple H's boy. And then
And now the question that I'm hearing online is that Mercedes Moné is going to be on Dynamite on Wednesday.
he's
Do
supposedly signed.
you believe that is what's your thought? I was hoping she'd come to WWE and be
Well,
Sasha
we
Banks.
saw the report was that they were in contacts for a while and she wanted more money and they weren't willing to give it to her and Tony Khan was willing to give it to her. So I mean it sucks, but I mean I don't think WWE needs that. I think they're at the stage where they can be like, all right, well if you want to go there and they don't need Sasha Banks. They really don't.
Great though.
But their women's roster is absolutely stacked. Like I don't I that's where kind of I think they're at. They know that they don't really need her to sell tickets. So I mean, I personally think she goes to AEW. I think it's dumb. Their women's division is terrible, so I think she's gonna rot there.
Such a
But
bad.
I hope she doesn't.
It is such a bad women's division.
It's bad. The booking's bad.
I mean, Julia Hart,
But if she really is all about,
money.
only cares about money, then she's gonna go where the money is gonna pay her more, I guess.
I was hoping she would show up at Royal Rumble, but
Yeah, so was I.
that'll be Jade
I guess
Cargill.
we have to wait to see if she actually shows up on Dynamite, but it seems like she is.
Uh, okay. Candace said the match was okay, but it was missing something. I don't know what it was, and to be honest, don't care. The double storyline, ugh, I mean, glad it's over. She goes, I mean, no offense to Joe, but he can't do it. If I was MJF, I would leave AEW because MJF has stuff going on outside of AEW. Michael, for those who watched GH, the double storyline reveal was like the letdown when Sonny saw Jason and Carly in bed and got married. Is Jack Perry still suspended, Colleen? Where is Jack Perry? Does anyone know?
I thought he was gonna be involved at some point, but I guess
Maybe I thought maybe he'd be one of the double mask
he's
people.
still suspended. I don't know. It's a mess, I think.
I know, and Tony Khan was touting that they're doing great. The ratings are the best ever.
I don't I the devil storyline I think was way too long and no one cared anymore and everyone knew it was Cole. That's the thing. Everybody knew.
I know, and it really sucked. And now you can't, how are you going to play that out unless they have MJF going to surgery and playing it off camera and videos?
I just don't get how you can have MJF like do this whole storyline and now MJF's gonna take time off.
That's what I'm saying. To leave the story like this, that's why I thought, well, maybe he's going
He's
because
just leaving. Yeah.
yeah, what you're going to leave the story like this? You need surgery. You're at the height of the story. You can't follow up on it. So I guess leave. Which makes no sense.
I do just want to know if he is signed or not. I guess I'll have to wait.
I mean, what do you want to happen right now? Do you want him to stay at AEW or
I
go
just think if he stays there, he's gonna be doing the same thing he's been doing.
running the show?
Yeah.
Okay. So during Christmas, we both went to the Iron Claw,
Yes.
and I want to talk about it. I was really excited to see it, and I went to the theater, and I will get your thoughts on it. So what I loved it. I thought Zac Efron was amazing as Kevin Von Erich, and I thought Harris Dickinson was great as David Von Erich
Mhm.
because I didn't realize that Harris Dickinson had an English accent and was like this English actor who's in all these movies. I'm like, this guy's really good. And I was trying to figure out how they were going to tell the story because growing up, I knew the Von Erich story. I watched them. So what was your, did you understand the whole, did you know the story going in? Did you know all the
I
facts?
did not know. I knew the gist of it, but I did not know anything. Like I definitely like learned everything about it in the movie. I didn't know the details of how he passed away. I didn't know anything about the dad. I didn't know any of that. So I really enjoyed it. I loved it.
I, so when I got home, Sean Durkin, the director, said how he changed some of the facts. So some of the facts were like mushed into one thing.
Yeah, I read about that.
And one of the sons, Chris, is not even in the movie because it'd be another guy that dies.
Yeah, they said it wasn't worth putting him like
Putting it
another
in.
son.
Um, it was terrible. What
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, and Maura Tierney was great as a mother
Mhm.
too. Like they were just terrible. They had no feelings. You couldn't show any emotion.
No.
But I thought the brothers, people were complaining that there wasn't enough brotherly love in it, and I didn't feel that. I thought that
No, I
brothers.
thought it was yeah, I thought there definitely was.
I mean, when they snuck Mike out, the guy that was
Yeah.
the
That whole scene was awesome.
was so good.
Yeah.
So how can you tell? So what were you most surprised about?
So I genuinely did not know that Carrie I thought because I literally went in here, I know wrestling, but I don't know that long ago. So I thought when they showed the scene of Carrie trying to wrestle with without his foot that it was just gonna lead to him like being upset. But I had no idea that he genuinely went to
He
WWE
did it.
and won a title.
Did it,
Nobody knew.
except Roddy Piper.
That's crazy. They said he used to shower with boots on.
Uh,
Like,
uh,
but I don't understand. I personally just don't understand how he was able to wrestle that like with that.
I just don't. I think he was just sending into such drug abuse, and like I think he just had to do that to get through. And it was interesting to me that this mentality, because Kerry was the big star.
Yeah.
It wasn't Kevin. It was Kerry.
No. Yeah.
And then when the motorcycle accident happened in real life, I thought, oh, he killed him, got killed. Then I realized he got amputated.
So when this was all going on, like they would just report these things like out of nowhere. Like how did like I don't
I mean, you'd read it like in a newspaper or something, or try to figure it out. And
and
I
how confused you'd be. Okay, another one. Like that's literally
I
what
was
my
like,
like
wait, what's going on here? And at first, I'm like, this is really weird. They're all dropping.
yeah
They, first of all, the if you guys have seen that, let's just say if you're watching this, these are spoilers.
yeah
The First of all, there was the little boy. There was Jack, and Jack had died. He died at very little, very young.
yeah
The curse started very young,
yeah
and then there was this Chris who killed himself.
yeah. Who
With
was the second oldest, right?
right second,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
he was 21.
21. And you saw how Fritz was, who by the way he was great.
Yeah, yeah.
How horrible he was to the guys, like you could not, and how he pitted them against each other. Like I mean, you're gonna be the star now. We're gonna push
Yeah.
you, and the other one. Um,
But then when
I
you hear it's funny because when you hear Kevin was at the premiere and he was talking about it, he says it like he thinks that he doesn't see a problem with the way his dad was. He
no,
he he's like that's just how fathers were back then, and that's the way he showed his love was like whatever, and it's like crazy. It's like sad because his dad wasn't
I
a nice
don't.
guy,
I think he was not a nice man, and it was very disconnected. And I can't imagine the PTSD that this man has lived with,
and
Kevin.
it also comes with like I think the fact. I mean, there's definitely many different things, but part of why they probably fall into those like drug addictions because they can't show emotion, so they have to make their body feel nothing. So it's like, all right, that's the only way to do it.
And they were fighting for position.
Yeah, so they want to be the biggest and
They
awesome.
they wanted to get the shot at the not shot it like in your body. I'm talking about like a shot at the title and be the one
Yeah,
that's. And it was very competitive between the brothers, and he did that. And um, but they all had something wrong. Like think about there had to be some kind of mental disorder as well. Like
yeah,
why did all of them,
yeah, all of them.
all of them,
Not, it doesn't make sense.
except David? And remember the thing that killed me was David was vomiting in the toilet bowl blood, and he's like, "We need to tell Dad."
So I read a story about that actually because I was reading about it
It's
all
not the way
weekend.
it went down either.
Well, someone said that not even about the way it went down. Ric Flair has done like multiple interviews and whatever. He swears that it was a drug overdose, but they hit it they covered it up. But he's like that was not what they say it was. So
So there's been that. And
mm,
then there's like the ruptured intestine or whatever in Japan. And then the thing that was so awful was then Mike went, they needed a replacement. So then poor Mike, the musician, goes to wrestle and rips his shoulder to smithereens and has surgery. But in the real details, he didn't have the surgery and then get toxic shock syndrome. It was combined.
yeah,
So
they
there,
combined it. Yeah,
yeah, there was time, and then he got toxic, and then to see him not be able to talk,
yeah,
and then I think him taking the pills was so horrible. Like watching him do that
laying
uh,
by the lake.
by the lake,
Yeah,
and then the shooting, the Kerry Von Erich shooting. His father found him, not Kevin.
yeah, yeah,
However, there was nothing sadder than the end to me when it was just Kevin looking out at the two children.
yeah.
It was so,
I just can't even imagine how he like dealt with that. Like I don't get
I
it.
can't believe he's still alive.
He's only 66, which is crazy. I thought he was way older.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm gonna be 63 in
Yeah.
like 10 days. And so I'm 63. He's 66. So
Mhm.
I grew up watching this. And I remember it was such a big deal, like, oh, the Von Erichs are from the Sportatorium. And sometimes we couldn't get it in Milwaukee because we were in the AEW. We weren't, I'm not AEW, AWA
Yeah.
was our league, and we couldn't get that stuff. I loved how they did the old kind of chyrons and video footage. Like that was
Oh,
great.
they did a great job showcasing. The one thing I said about it is
Ric
that,
Flair.
well, not even just, well, Ric Flair, they could have gotten anyone to play him. It was terrible. He was the only thing I had a problem with. It was just
Terrible.
trying too hard to be Ric Flair when it's not that hard. Like, just say what he's saying. Um, the one thing I said that I really enjoyed, and it's great to be a wrestling fan, is that the product is hot right now when a wrestling movie is breaking these records and getting all the exposure it's getting from regular movie watchers. And they're talking about, in the movie, they're talking about, yeah, like these terms of wrestling. And some of these people probably have no idea what they're talking about. Like we know what a clean match is and a work and a whatever, but it's cool to see that they're showcasing this and it's we finally get movies about stuff that we like. It's not just about, you know, all the regular stuff that we see all the time.
Well, it was interesting. So in the movie, I went by myself and I was I always try to say like, hey, and all these people around me, not one of them was a wrestling fan. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know the story they were walking into. They were
Yeah,
like, heard like, oh, it's going to be a good film, I heard.
yeah,
They did not know that they were going to be seeing one son after the other kill himself or
yeah.
die. And I just remember that I was so impressed with Zac Efron because I've never seen him this good.
He was awesome.
And
It
I
was
cannot
awesome.
believe that they are not considering him for an Oscar, and he's not for a Golden Globe, he's not up for this. And the guy that played David, I thought was great. You didn't like him? Did you
No, I
like
did. I liked them all. I thought the guy who played Carrie was great too. I
he
really
was
did.
he was great. I liked him, Jeremy Allen White. He's a great actor. For some reason that was the hardest role for me to buy into because I just I watched Carrie so much, so maybe that's
Yeah,
why
I was
that
gonna say it must be weirder to actually watch it happen
it
because I
was
have nothing to
really
base my
hard. It was
knowledge
really
off
hard.
of.
I just remember calling my sister, who also watched New Carrie and everything, and we were all just
Mhm.
devastated when he died, and to
Yeah,
find out he shot himself, and then the other one killed himself. I remember just being like, but these guys are like the best wrestlers,
yeah.
and they all just, it's a horrible story.
And the one thing I didn't know that like I thought it was I that's pretty funny that I had no idea that they had trios championships back then.
Yeah, trios
I didn't
championships.
know that. I thought they were like new. That's what people like started to do. I had no idea that was old. I had
No,
no idea that I had no idea that ESPN was broadcasting territories. I couldn't even believe it.
it was completely different. And everything was at the Sportatorium in Dallas. And it was originally very, in that market. And then they became big.
Yeah.
And that's why ESPN, like the Von Erichs became big.
Hmm.
Um, Colina says, I saw a documentary about them the other day, and it was so sad. Yes, it was. WWE will have AJ Lee soon, and no offense to Mercedes, but I hope she makes the money and enjoys it. Candace says. Are
I
they going
agree.
to have AJ Lee?
I think so. I hope so at least.
Okay, Candace. Yeah, I like Mercedes. I do. I love Sasha Banks. I gave the movie an A.
Yeah, I loved it. I would watch it again.
I loved it. I would watch it again. It's really sad.
My
It was.
sister went. She doesn't know anything about it. She knows wrestling because she like watched it with me, but she doesn't like won't know anything. And she texted me right after. She's like, I just cried my eyes out.
Oh,
She's
she
like,
didn't go with you, or
no, we
she?
went. No, I went with my uncle, and we both
Your
loved
uncle
it.
like it? Oh yeah.
He actually really liked it because he actually watched it like he knew. So he was excited to see how they portrayed like the people, and because he said he loved Carrie too. So he said that you know he was like it's crazy that there was even some stuff that he had to look up too that he was like, oh, I didn't know if that was
I
the
did
right
too. I
way.
had to go back, but Carrie was
Yeah.
like the god. right? Kerry
Yeah.
was the big thing.
Yeah. He
And
wrestled. He was tag team partners with Ultimate
yeah,
Warrior.
yeah, that
Yeah.
when he said the thing about Ultimate Warrior, and they're like, nah. Um, but the end also was really sad because Kevin is alive with the kids, and then they've got 19 grandchildren, and now the Von Erich sons are wrestling.
They
That's what I'm
wrestle.
scared.
They're wrestling in AEW.
AW, and
Yeah.
that's my biggest scare.
Yeah. I just can't believe that he would allow them not
I
allow them,
couldn't
like
either. Okay,
encourage
sure.
them.
All your
Yeah.
brothers shot and killed themselves or died.
And the one thing my uncle said was that he's like, it's crazy when you think about it. Like no one, not one time has anyone ever said like it's because of wrestling that that had this happen. Like with the toll it takes on your body and all that. Like they'll never say that, but it definitely played a part in it.
There still seems to be some unwritten code that they're not
Hmm.
like, it's very apparent that how are you going to survive this?
Yeah.
How are you going to go out? How are these guys going out every night and doing the show?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really disappointed that Zach and Harris and the movie are not getting more recognition at awards time.
I
So,
also thought the soundtrack was great. Like the songs they used and stuff was great.
which I've used today on
Yeah.
our Instagram. It's a great soundtrack.
Yeah.
I was really impressed for a wrestling movie about wrestling. I think you don't have to be a wrestling fan to see it,
They did a
but
great
if
job.
you're a wrestling fan, you really appreciate it.
I appreciate
Uh,
it so much.
you appreciate it so much, and
And I think people will start to appreciate wrestling more after watching that.
I just don't think people understand.
The toll fake wrestling that people
I
think fake wrestling
honestly,
fits in your
right.
body.
And
Yeah.
when I was at WWE too, like seeing it up close and meeting the people and knowing the wrestlers and seeing what they go through is a completely different thing.
Yeah. No, it gives you a totally
Like
different light. Like
a
and a
different
simple movie like
perspective.
this will help you realize that.
I mean, imagine if you were said to go, like, you had to go play a part in a movie and you had to go wrestle. What if you get hurt doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, anyone can get hurt doing it, even if the best people. Speaking of Seth, he was amazing. I was watching him and I like just all his moves are just, he's a very strong guy. If he can
Mhm.
pick up Drew, like, I just think
Yeah.
he's,
Yeah. No, he does all that CrossFit.
oh, does he? And
Yeah, he's
now,
like CrossFit guy.
oh, Candace loves Sasha too. I do too. I thought you loved Sasha Banks too.
No, I do, but like I don't think they need her.
So who's gonna take the championship from Rhea?
I
Nobody.
think I think Becky's gonna beat her
Or Jade.
or Liv.
Where's your girl? Is she coming?
I think she's gonna be at the Rumble.
I bet she's a surprise entrant
Yeah, she
in.
might be like 30. She's been off for a while.
Did we cover everything?
I think we did.
I feel like I'm forgetting something, but there was a lot. So
Yeah.
we did the movie, we did the holiday tour, we did
Raw.
Raw.
And then World's
Okay,
End.
wait, wait, no, 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 no. We have to do the ESPN.
Oh yes. That is what we forgot.
Yeah, so see, no, no.
LA Knight.
Wait, hold on. Let me pull it up. Okay. So ESPN came out with their Pro Wrestling Award year-end issue, year-end awards, acknowledgments, and they gave Female Wrestler of the Year to Rhea Ripley, and runner-up was Giuliana and Io Sky.
I think I agree.
I agree with Rhea.
Yeah.
Okay. Male Wrestler of the Year, they gave to Cody. Uh, wait a minute. With Roman Reigns, MJF, and Will Ospreay as runner-ups in a three-way tie.
See, I don't agree. I
I don't
think that I think Roman deserves to be I just think I just don't know how you can have him not be the best guy after what he's done. I don't know how.
thank you. I think it should have been Roman.
I think Cody definitely should be on there. I think Roman, MJF, and Will Ospreay are all better options than Cody.
I had Roman one. I actually had Roman one, Will Ospreay two, MJF three, and Cody
Yeah,
four.
I think that's definitely better. I get it with the whole Cody thing. He's wrestled a lot, but I don't agree.
I just think Roman every time he's in elevates the whole thing.
I also don't agree with the next one either.
I completely disagree. FTR,
And it's not the runner-up either. It's how is it not the Usos?
how could they give it to Kevin Owens and Sami? Like, I don't see that
How is
either.
it not the Usos ran 2023 as the tag champs the whole year? How are they not the best?
I
They're the best
agree.
tag team in the world.
I agree. This is bad.
I was very disappointed in
This is
ESPN's.
would not do FTR and I would not do Sammy and Kevin. Uh Debut of the year.
Yeah, I agree with this one.
I agree with that. Mercedes Monet. Is that in Japan?
And yeah,
That was bad. I agree. Nothing better than the Punk entrance. Breakthrough wrestler LA Knight or
I
Sorcerer.
agree.
I agree.
It could have been either.
I think it's LA Knight, but
Yeah,
Swerve is great. Promo Artist of the Year MJF or LA Knight.
probably. I would say that's
I would
right.
go MJF.
Yeah.
And here's your match: Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
that's what I had on my top 10 list of the
Your top
whole
10
year.
list of the whole year. And
Yeah,
Rhea Charlotte was good.
yeah, I love that. Watching that live was awesome.
That was amazing. That's at WrestleMania. And pay-per-view of the WrestleMania. I disagree. I
I
would do
don't think so.
Backlash.
I would go Backlash, and I
Uh,
don't have a problem saying that.
I would go Backlash, and I was there at WrestleMania and so are you.
Mhm.
Forbidden
I
Door.
get if you're doing WrestleMania as a whole, then yeah, because it's 2 nights. But like, I think that's what they are doing. They did say it's two. They were doing it together. They weren't doing it each night. It was just WrestleMania 39 as a whole, which kind of isn't fair. But
They said WrestleMania wasn't perfect. It still delivered as the industry's grandest 40-hour run. We'll see you in Philadelphia.
yeah,
I think what I saw even on Peacock streaming and Backlash was match for match more exciting.
I agree.
Best storyline of the year, the Bloodline, absolutely.
Yeah, not even a question.
MJF and Adam Cole, I'm sorry, does not get to the Bloodline. And
No,
you know what bothered me about this though? When I look at this, 2022 was so amazing with the 2023, I'm sorry, it was so amazing with the Bloodline. Where is this? How are they going to get back to it? Is it over?
I mean with the Rock back, I think they'll figure it out. They'll be all
Like,
right.
we better figure this out.
Yeah, you can't ruin his return. So I'm excited to see what they do now.
All right. So I guess now we've wait.
Covered everything.
LA Knight, Candace said LA Knight was good on the mic all year, and shout out to Randy Orton. Rhea, just like Roman, has grown into solid performers and wrestlers. Kalina, I love Rhea. Um, and Candace agrees with you that they don't need Sasha. Uh, Now maybe down the road, AJ Lee and the Royal, and even though they posted a video, I can see Trish returning.
Probably.
Yeah, because Trish was posting a video about herself, like in her great year in WWE.
Yeah.
I just want you to know when I worked with Trish, she couldn't even say her lines
She's improved.
immensely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bloodline was epic. We agree. Okay. So now we've covered it all.
Yes.
Time for you to go to sleep. It's 12:25 there.
I probably will fall asleep. I was tired
You're not
today
gonna fall asleep? You gotta fall asleep. Weren't you
from
up?
last night. What?
Haven't you been up since 7 or did you go to sleep?
I went to sleep till like 5. I
Oh,
was
you
like,
slept till
yeah, I was sleeping like all day. I couldn't even get out of bed. I got out of bed once to go watch Raw at my uncle's house. Like I was just in bed laying there doing nothing.
Okay, since we did our recap, we did our top 10 last episode. What's your big predictions for 2024
I think that
in AEW and WWE?
I think in
Does
I think
AEW
in
fall apart?
I think AEW has a worse year than this year. And I think WWE, I don't know. I think Roman's gonna drop the titles at Mania no matter what. I don't care who he's fighting.
No, Candace, you never told me you were a fan of wrestling and soaps like me. But now you know. Now you can come to our safe space
Yeah, where we talk about
Wrestling, where we talk about wrestling only.
yeah.
I think Roman's going to drop the title at Mania.
Hmm.
But how
I
would you feel if it's Cody?
I want Cody to win it.
Okay,
I don't want The Rock to win.
to your four corny roads. You're okay with that?
Yeah, I like him.
I like him too.
He reposted my brother, so I have to like him.
And what happened with your brother? Didn't he go with you to Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, he loved it. He had a
Tell me
great time.
what it was like. What was it like for him? You must have
Yeah,
loved it.
he also we got pretty good seats. We were pretty close, so that was also good. We got to see the people come out because like we were facing the ramp, so we saw them come
This is the
towards us.
first time he's gone.
No, we went to his first one was the holiday tour 2 years ago, but it was nowhere near as good as today as the last one.
So who was he most excited about? Cody.
Tony, yeah, it's his favorite guy. But he did buy. We went to the store. I said, get whatever, any shirt, and he chose the Hell Froze Over shirt, CM Punk. That's what he asked for. So he wanted the Punk shirt. He's like, how can I get a Punk shirt? Because
Oh,
everybody was buying Punk, everybody. So he bought that one. He
this,
originally wanted the Yeet shirt, but they didn't have his size.
I like the Eat shirt. So is he a big? Do you think he's gonna like Punk?
I think he likes Punk, but he just loves Cody. He was so excited. So we were online to get food during the
Oh,
Ricochet and
we didn't have Ricochet, but we had his what girlfriend. Where was
we
he?
had Ricochet and Bronson Reed. So we got up and said, "Let's go get
Yeah.
food." I was starving. We were waiting online, and we were second in line about to order. And then we hear the announcer say, "This is a bull rope match," and we knew that was Cody. And he made me get off the line and run because he wanted to be there for his entrance. So I
You
didn't
guys
even get
had a
food.
bull rope match?
They had a Cody Rhodes and Shinsuke in a bull rope match.
We had like a no, we had I don't know if it was a no DQ. They were smashing. It wasn't called a bull rope match,
Yeah,
but
they were tied together like hand.
oh, and
Like
everything everybody wanted was tables
yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
entire show. Candace says AEW will be like the last year of WCW, which wasn't the best. And I spell Roman versus Cody versus Punk sometime before Mania, unless Roman versus Rocket Mania and Cody wins Money in the Bank and cashes it in later this year. What do you think about those premises?
I could see Cody winning the Money in the Bank. I can if he doesn't win at
I
Mania,
can
but
too.
I think
That's a good thought, Candace. Then what? So when does Mr. Senior Money in the Bank run out of time to do this? By
next
then,
Money in the Bank.
well, he's not going to do it. They've just knocked him out of nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I want him to cash in already, whether he wins or loses.
All right. So prediction is Roman drops the title. A couple other last. Is Seth going to keep the title?
I don't think I think Punk beats him if that's what he's fighting.
And then Punk turns heel.
I think Rollins turns heel. I think that's I just don't think you can have Punk turn heel. They're not gonna boo him. He hasn't been there in 11 years. They're not gonna boo him ever. Doesn't matter what he does. You have to just keep him as a face and have Rollins turn heel because he's pissed.
I like Rollins is a great heel,
Yeah.
but I like him. Okay. And then what happens with Rhea? Does it just keep going on?
I think she's gonna be the champion as long as she's this hot. Like this, she's the people love her. So I mean, you can't really take it off of her.
And then who will be the champ? My bet is Swerve Strickland is going to be the champ in AEW.
I think he's gonna be the next one to win.
I think that's got to
Yeah,
be the plan. You're going to have the
yeah,
first black champion. That's what's going to happen. He's going
yeah.
to,
And I think he deserves it too.
I
So
think he deserves it. And I think that's your guy.
yeah, I agree.
Then you have a talking point. You have a great wrestler,
Great team song.
great theme song, great dancing. And then you don't have to watch Samoa Joe plot around the ring. He's
Mhm.
not a face of a company. It's over.
No, yeah, it's not. He's just not.
All right, everybody. Happy New Year. Thank you for being with us tonight. I can't believe it's the first day of 2024. I don't know where
Crazy.
the time went. Um, and now it's kind of like holidays are over and now we all got to get back to our lives.
We're aiming at for more than we had 20 episodes in 2023, so we'll aim for
Very good. For
more
more
than 20.
consistency is more consistency and like trying to get on here where there's like major stuff going on.
Yeah, yeah.
We just had a lot to talk about. All right. Happy New Year. I will talk.